Well, hello friends out there in YouTube land. Today we've got a really great video coming up for you. We're talking about GTE Urban Ash by Taylor Guitars. I know you're absolutely going to love it, so stay tuned. Friends out there, we got it. It's in the studio right now. Today, we're talking about the beautiful Taylor GTE Urban Ash. We're going to go ahead and share a little bit about how we're going to do the video. We've got 5 categories to talk about. Don't forget to skip around using the timestamps below. If you happen to see this on Amazon or anywhere, I am an Amazon influencer, and I can get paid based off of the commission if you purchase one. So if you choose to use one of those links, I'd appreciate it very much. Now that you know that, let's talk about those categories. We're actually going to be discussing this as far as the overview. We're going to talk about my gripes, the things I like about it. I want to give you a chance to hear how it sounds specifically on a guitar song or something that I would actually sing out and about. That's going to be Wanted Dead or Alive by Bon Jovi. I'm going to share with you why I like it, also what I would change if I could change anything, and give you my final thoughts. I hope you like all of that stuff, and if you did, it's time to go ahead and talk about the features right about now. So, looking at this guitar, there's a lot to love about it. Taylor's GTE Urban Ash series was released about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, and it was kind of a follow-up to the American Dream series, which they had released in early 2019, if I'm not mistaken. The concept was to make a high-quality, entry-level type of guitar price for Taylor. There's nothing really entry-level about this, but the price is much more approachable for Taylor guitars as compared to other guitars in their series. Specifically, this guitar starts around $14.99 and $16.99, depending on if you have the electronics model or if you have no electronics. It's made of all solid wood. It comes with their Urban Ash, which has this, which is actually a chamal ash. It's a type of, well, responsibly sourced ash from places like California's streets where they were removing trees that were going to be felled for destruction anyways, and they found a really great source of hardwood specifically for making beautiful bodies. The top is, of course, Sitka spruce, which is beautiful. I love this nice pattern that we've got right here. Also, if you look real close, you can see that bear claw kind of scratch. This is a very high quality type of figure and a very nice piece of spruce. Of course, we have the tortoiseshell pick guard. Of course, we also have an eucalyptus bridge as well as fretboard, which is really nice. Eucalyptus is another one of those woods which has been difficult to determine exactly how to use it in guitar making, and Taylor has found a way to smoke the eucalyptus all the way through so it's got that beautiful dark color, and I like it quite a bit. This is a choice as opposed to ebony on many of their guitars. In fact, ebony is a project, or the Ebony project is a part of Taylor Guitars for making sure that there's still sustainably sourced hardwoods available for making quality guitars. We're actually looking at a couple things. We have a micarta saddle and a black tusk nut. Micarta is linen and resin impregnated together. And of course, nut is a bone simulation, a type of plastic resin. Both of these are supposed to make the guitar sound really nice. We also notice that the nut is black, which means that this has Taylor's V-class bracing. However, because it's a smaller guitar and their GTE body size, they've actually taken that V-class bracing and made it a cantilevered class. It's basically asymmetrical. It's just one piece of bracing. If I scared any of you out there by saying the V-class at first, I wanted to bring you up to speed on where C-class came from. So take V-class, which has supports going all the way through like that, and then tone arms coming off of it, and make it half. We've got a support going all the way down with a couple of tone arms at the bottom to make the bass resonate a little bit better. When we talk about the neck of the guitar, beautiful neck, we've got a 2-piece, 3-piece neck that we can see 1, 2, 3. Of course, it's got the Taylor GT carve, which is a nice profile which adapts from the neck to the heel, which is really great. And then we've got these upgraded nickel tuners. The nickel tuners are 18-to-1, if I'm not mistaken, as opposed to the traditional 15-to-1 tuning ratio, which just means that your tuning stability and your turnability is going to be a little bit better and faster. Higher ratio, generally higher quality tuners. As we turn around, they feel great. We've got a beautiful piece of eucalyptus, stained eucalyptus as the headstock right here, the veneer that we have over that. And if you can see, it's actually a pretty thick piece right there. Runs in up, I think, just a little bit less, a little bit shy of 1/8 of an inch. As we look, the bridge pins are plastic. You can, of course, get ebony bridge pins. It does not come with them. My ES2 pickup system is installed already from the factory, which is really nice. I got a whole video on that. Don't forget to check it out. And we've got, of course, on the bottom, our jack where we go ahead and plug everything in, and also can plug in our battery to make it all sound nice. All together, the guitar feels and sounds great. Fingers wonderfully. We've got 14 frets to the body, going up to 17, 14, 15, 16, about 22 frets in total. Really nice job on the guitar as it looks. Want to give you a walk around. We've got this really interesting binding that's on the front. We have a little piece of purfling on the edge of the guitar, but the actual edge is stained. So it's actually not bound by any means. The top is just simply glued to the sides of the guitar, and of course it has the kerfing and everything on the inside. And then the edge is chamfered, and that chamfered edge right there really makes it feel good. Very, very good, and also gives it a very interesting look. I think it's really nice. I'm not really disappointed that this is not a bound edge, mainly because it's very soft and contoured. Binding does help protect the edge against bumps and dings. This guitar right here is made to be taken away, gone, and played with. And as such, it has a very thin finish, so we don't have a hard finish on here to help protect it in any other way. So although it isn't bound on the edge, I don't think that there's too much of a problem with the way that they've done it. In fact, I like it quite a bit. I think a guitar is a working instrument, no matter where you get it. And although you'd like to baby it, I kind of am proud sometimes of a little bit of my road rash that I get on these things. I like them quite a bit. We've got a place for our guitar strap on the front and the back, and all together. It's nice. Let's go ahead and move into our sounds. I want to bring this to you. We're going to cut in, and I'm going to play a little bit of Wanted, Dead or Alive. We're going to pick that up here in just a moment.
It's all the same, only the names will change. Every day it seems we're wasting away. Another place, and the faces are so cold. I'll drive all night just to get back home. I'm a cowboy on a steel horse I ride. I'm wanted, dead or alive. I'm wanted, dead or alive. Sometimes it's sleep, sometimes it's not for days. Where the people that I meet, they always go their separate ways. Sometimes you know the day by the bottle that you drink. When you're alone and all I do is think, I'm a cowboy on a steel horse I ride. I'm wanted, dead or alive. I'm wanted, dead or alive.
All right, now we're back. You saw that. It sounds great. If you want to hear just some strums. Just a beautiful sound altogether. One of the things that I like about it, moving into the what I like and why I like it, I think that this is a great body shape. There's a couple things that are happening with the name of this guitar. This is the Taylor GT, and this GT stands for Grand Theater. It's a grand orchestra model that's kind of GO, that's actually been shrunken down to this smaller shape in this GT. For me, I truly enjoy the shorter scale. As we're kind of talking about it in that scale as well, the GT is in between a GS Mini and a Grand Auditorium, so we're looking at somewhere around 24 and an eighth of an inch. We've also got a nut width that's kind of in between a GS Mini and one of their full size, like a Grand Auditorium, which is 1 and 22/32, basically 44 millimeters compared to 1 and 11/16, which is basically 42. And then 1 3/4 is like 45. And in between there, I know I'm doing a little bit of rounding right now, but there's really about 1.5 millimeters in between all the different nut widths. I think this is a very playable, feels great kind of nut width, and I like sliding all around on the guitar. It's just a wonderful thing altogether. couple other things that I like about it is just how it comes with this beautiful aero case. Now, it's just an absolutely wonderful case. The GS Mini Koa Plus actually comes with it, and all their American Dreams and their 300 series are coming with these cases as opposed to a hard case. You can sometimes get them just switched up. It's a really good case. So when we look at it with the side dot markers, how it feels and everything else, I'm really down. I like it quite a bit. A couple of things. What would I change? You know, if I had to change something about the guitar, it's really hard to say, mainly because I view this guitar as a real workhorse guitar. We're made of real high-quality materials, specifically in the solid wood. It sounds wonderful. Playability setup, straight out of the box, is great, and it's just a wonderful guitar all around. If I had to think of any one thing, I guess I would want that 1 3/4 inch nut width. I know we talked about that a minute ago, but that's like my only gripe that I would have with this. A little bit wider of a nut's always better for me because I've got kind of fat fingers, but that does not make this non-playable at all. I prefer a wider nut. I prefer 1 3/4 like you find on all the standard series Martins nowadays, even on the Martin Dreadnought Junior, the Road series, which is a cool one. You got that wider nut width. Is that millimeter or millimeter and a half something that you'll feel? Yes. At 1 22/32 compared to 1 11/16, which is the GS Mini size, is it something that you would notice a difference? Yes. Does it keep me from playing it? No, but I do have to be a little bit more articulate with my playing, especially when I get into it. So the little bit of extra width would be nice, but that's something that's not going to change. I guess something that I could talk about, which would be interesting, is I think that when they came out with the guitar, they created these pinnacle inlays, these little triangular inlays, as a defining factor for this specific model, the GT Urban Ash. When they came out with the black top and the solid mahogany, they went to these small pearloid dots. They're 4 millimeters instead of the pyramid, the pinnacle triangles, the Italian acrylic. The fact that they did not continue those was a real bummer for me because I think it's so iconic for this shape and design. And I think that they should have at least continued that as something to give it a really interesting look. I really like these pyramids, and it makes it look a little bit different from their other guitars, which is nice. Okay, continuing that, this is the Taylor GT, Grand Theater. Well, GT is actually the body shape as far as what it is. It's a Grand Theater as opposed to a Grand Orchestra or a Grand Pacific. And the model number for the body is actually 11. We see that in guitars that came out with after this, like the GT 811E and the Koa, the K21, which was a different thing, and some of the different, and the 611, 611. And as you know, the series, the 100, the 600, 500, 300, 100, 200, 900, 800, those series have to do with the different appointments that the guitar has. I'm bringing all of this up is because Taylor seems to be going through a naming change convention. This has always been the 11 body shape, like the 811, 1011, or 611. There's no 1011. And the American Dream kind of stepped into this category as well as moving away from the numbered 100 series and going to 8021 or 8012, things like that. And so Taylor seems to be trying to, with this current generation that's happened in the past 2 years since they came out with it, they've come out with a new GT E model for the American Dream series, and they're dropping the GT and they're just calling it the 8011. And they also have the 811, which is the 800 series, which is a GT, and they have the 611, which is the 600 series with the GT. It's all solid maple, beautiful guitar. So I think that coming out with the name and spending a lot of pricing and positioning based on the name, the GT, and then kind of dropping the GT, I think that's an issue. I don't really like that. But we're really kind of in the woods, right? We're not even talking about how the guitar sounds. We're really talking about how we discuss the guitar, and that's a different thing altogether. If you're into Taylor and Taylor is your favorite brand like it is mine, of course I'm going to like it and love it. That doesn't mean I don't like Martins or Cordoba or Fenders and things like that, but I really enjoy the Taylor guitars, and I'm really into what they're doing. I'm always watching what they're doing and down. So when I saw that's kind of interesting to me that they're doing a naming thing. It has nothing to do with how the guitar sounds or plays. So take that for what you will. If the worst that I can say about the guitar is maybe I'd like a little wider nut, maybe I don't understand why they're changing the name around a little bit 2 years after it came out, then that's got to tell you there's something wonderful about this guitar. I'm going to finish this up with my final thoughts and who the guitar is for. I'm going to tell you this guitar is for anyone. If you're a parent looking to get your child into a guitar, you may not want to pick one up at this price point, but if your child appears to be serious or something like that, there's no reason why this guitar wouldn't be a good choice. Yeah, it's expensive, but it is a quality guitar starting at around $14.99, depending on the model that you get. There are other options that cost less, but when you buy into a Taylor, you're buying into a complete lifestyle, you're buying into a system, and you're buying into generations of quality. I believe that 100%. However, whatever you end up getting, this guitar would fit that need. And I see it as the everyday, every man's guitar, sit on the couch, have a nice handmade American guitar that you don't mind taking down to the beach or taking somewhere else. Yeah, it's solid wood, but it's made to be played. It's made to be taken out and used. I wouldn't necessarily say abused, but the guitar is built well, it's sturdy, it comes with a great case. And the whole concept is small, portable, big sounds, ready to go and work for you. And I love it for that reason. So who do I think it's for? I think if you can afford the guitar, I think it's for you. Guys, I want to thank you so much for watching today and remind you that I totally appreciate all your comments and everything else. I want you to don't forget to come ahead and check me out over on the comments down below. This is Rob. We've been talking about the GTE Urban Ash by Taylor Guitars, and I'll thank you and see you guys on the next one. Bye for now.